it's just with a is I don't know. It's a sad case with Mike Tyson because he's not mentally there, and he was never really mentally prepared to be on top of the world, but he was put in that place. And he it was a lot of people in his life was you know living off of his money that he was
Taking
making.
advantage
So
of him, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so they weren't going to say anything stop. They was allowing him to go crazy.
you're 21 years old and you're the youngest heavyweight champion. What was he, 20 when he got it?
Yeah, he was 20. He was
You
20.
know, you're still, I mean, he went from the life in what was it, Bedford Stuyvesant,
Brownsville.
Brownsville, right? He went from there up upstate and then got under D'Amato, who my father knew, D'Amato, Cus D'Amato. I met him when I was a kid. And D'Amato really got into his head
Silence.
and made him into a champion.
Silence. We are live.
Oh,
We are live.
Harvey
Fearless
Keitel
Peter.
playing cuss. All
Yeah.
right.
We're live.
All right.
Hello,
Well,
everybody.
anyway,
Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. How are you, Tom?
hi. I'm doing exceedingly well. How are you two?
Hello, Spencer. How are you?
I'm all right. And yourself?
I'm good. Right. Let's kick things off. Which fight are we going to talk about first? Obviously, there's a fight live as we're going now.
Well, we were
Yeah.
talking about Estrada and the fact that this is a franchise championship, but he was stripped. Could you
Oh.
tell us more about that, Spencer?
I'm trying to remember what was the details on why he got stripped because he got his title taken. I think it was he was supposed to fight. Who was his last fight against?
I forgot, but I know he won it. He was stripped ahead of the Chocolatito trilogy.
Because he fought Chocolatito, and
Right.
and he was supposed to fight the other guy. That's now, I believe, that's now the champion.
Siraset Surungavisai. This goes back to August, right? And because he was supposed to fight him, I think. Siraset
But
takes the belt away.
didn't Homeboy just beat him though?
Which homeboy? Somebody stopped him.
Bam.
Yeah. Bam stopped him. So
And
Bam.
I think that was for Estrada's the belt that they took from Estrada.
So wait a minute. Estrada won the WBC flyweight title against Soren Visai, right? And was elevated to franchise status. It was to help clear a path for the trilogy with Gonzalez after El Gallo won the rematch for the WB title. However, Estrada's ultimately illness postponed the trilogy scheduled for March 5th. Next, the WBA came knocking and requested Estrada to fight the regular champion, Joshua Franco. Things continue to get complicated as words circled through the boxing community that both fighters were still going forward with the third fight. This raised questions about the WBA possibly stripping the title. So then they officially relinquished Estrada of the super title, leaving him without a belt. And so that's what happened.
He got his WBA taken, not the WBC. Okay.
Right. So that's what happened.
He was supposed to fight Franco. Yeah. Right.
But this fight tonight, he should walk away with that fight pretty easily. I looked at the guy's record. It's not Cortez. He's not that experienced, or does he have a lot of power?
Yeah, this guy is a takeover fight. I guess till they wait for him to fight somebody else. It's a homecoming fight too, because he's fighting in Mexico. Supposedly he ain't fight there in 3 years or something.
Well, there's always that hometown curse where fighters go home and then they lose, right?
Because they start the party and hang out with their friends and stuff.
They get distracted.
Yep.
What do you think about it, Nathan? Where did he go?
It's typical, isn't it, of these silly governing bodies, fucking typical.
Right. Yeah, because Argy Cortez.
That's all I got to say on that, really. It is what it is.
I mean, Cortez has half the fights of Estrada, and 23 2-2, and only has 10 KOs. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Estrada has 28 and 42 and 3, but two of those losses were against. One of them was against Chocolatito. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. So what's the next fight we want to talk about here?
All right. Now, we never
What
discussed.
was the other heavyweight fight before? Go on, carry on.
I was gonna say we never discussed AJ and Usyk.
Ah, yes.
No, let's
Actually,
discuss it now. Over here.
Nathan and I saw that when it was happening. Nathan, why don't you go first?
You said
I
me?
tell you what,
No,
that
Nathan.
fight. No, you can start. You start first if you want, and then I'll go last.
No, go ahead, Nathan.
My opinion of the fight was that it was closer than the first one. A lot closer than the first one. I had Usyk winning the fight by 3 rounds. Those last 3 rounds, that's what won the fight. That was the difference in the fight. But in the 4th round, he looked like he hurt Usyk. It was actually, they ruled it a slip, but it was a knockdown, wasn't it? As me and Tom discussed, it was a knockdown. It wasn't a slip at all. Then in the 9th round, he looked ready to go again.
Yeah.
So for me, the fight was close.
No, and for you, the fight
Was close. But I did think it was disrespectful of Joshua to act like a little spoilt brat at the end. I thought that was embarrassing for world boxing. It was embarrassing for British boxing. This is a man who didn't start amateur boxing until he was 18, 19. To come from where he's come from is amazing. It's a miracle that he ever got that far. So Joshua can be proud of what he's achieved. It's not the end. I've seen all the idiots. I went on YouTube afterwards, right, and went on a few shows, and they were slagging Joshua off as if he was finished. I'm like, 2 losses doesn't make you finished. You just come back strong and you rebuild. Right, so that's my opinion. Whoever wants to go can go next.
Spencer, why don't you go next?
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. I think Joshua did much better than he did in the first fight. It was in the 9th round, you can argue that Joshua was up. But after that, on the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, he didn't win a round. So it's like whatever momentum he had after that 9th round, which was his best round, by the way, he didn't carry that over into none of the other rounds going on. It's like he bust his load, so to speak, in the 9th round and couldn't do anything else. Couldn't counter what Usyk was doing.
Yeah, I agree. You had an interesting argument with, I guess, Tom, the other Tom, on there, where he was telling you didn't know how to judge a fight. But you know what? My opinion on this fight was, Usyk was moving well. He was giving him angles, but a lot of his punches didn't land. I mean, Joshua's defense was much better this time. Yeah, he got a couple of left hands in, but he wasn't effective. He was throwing a lot, but a lot of it wasn't hitting. And then Joshua was getting, solid body shots, some good right hands coming in and jabs. And I thought Joshua, by the 9th round, I had it at the end 7-5. And I thought he won. I thought Usyk won the fight in the last 3 rounds. You can make a case for 8-4. Some of those rounds I could see where some people thought that Usyk was winning more rounds because he was throwing more, but it wasn't effective aggressiveness. He was pity-pattying. He was trying to do things to throw Joshua off to open up, but it wasn't always working. But he did catch him a few times, especially with that underhand jab that he had, where he would throw the right hand.
That up jab that he got.
He would slip and go up like that, and he would catch him, and that was brilliant. But Joshua kind of closed that. But the body attack was a good idea. But once the 10th round came, Usyk went to another level, man. He just came right into Joshua, and I think that mentally broke him and made him tired. Just mentally broke down at that point. Yeah,
because you got to think, Joshua, like I said earlier, Joshua had his best round in the 9th round. Looked like he hurt him a couple of times.
He did.
He was really effective. And then for Usyk to come out and do his best work in the round right after you did your best work, it had to mentally do something to Joshua. Like, I couldn't put this guy away. Like, he came back after that.
The thing we have to be clear about, he's a very talented fighter. I don't think he's as good as Holyfield was, but he's not far off, I believe that if he was to fight Tyson Fury, this fight is not, and him and Fury would not be as one-sided as you think. I think that fight would be closer than people think. I think it would go to points. I could see Usyk giving Fury hell and making him look silly throughout the fight. You know, he may even drop him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just have a funny feeling that fight is closer than people think. I think it's more even than we're giving the Fury credit for. I think it's going to be a lot closer.
I mean, I got Fury winning the fight, and part of the thing that I got Fury winning the fight is because I don't know how Fury will come in to the fight. Fury is a versatile operator. We've seen him put on the pounds and lean on guys and just use his size and weight to get to have an advantage. And then we've seen him, you know, be a lot more fluid, like he did against Vladimir.
We've never seen him fight someone that small who's that good. And Fury, he doesn't have the skill set Usyk has. We can see he doesn't. And it's quite visible. His skill set's very good, but it's not as good as Usyk's. I've got to be honest, it's not. You know, I think Fury wins this fight by fighting on the outside and leaning on him. You know, Usyk's clearly a better fighter, you know, in terms of skill than Fury, isn't it? Visibly. You can see it.
Well, let's look at two fights. One was years ago, Joe Joyce and Usyk. So we have a big man like Joe Joyce and Usyk was running all over the place. But Joe Joyce didn't have the boxing ability nor the mobility that Fury has. Okay, so but size-wise, it's a good comparison. Then you look at Steve Cunningham, who dropped Fury. You know, who was also a very, very good boxer. But Fury is not the same fighter as he was then.
He's not. No matter people can say he says he's going to walk through him. He's not going to walk through Usyk. Usyk is better than people are giving him credit.
Yeah,
that's how good a boxer he is. Joshua is a good fighter, you know.
But Fury's also a southpaw too. Fury can fight southpaw.
He is, but he's never met anyone like Usyk before. He's never fought anyone as good as Usyk before.
Yeah, but
Usyk is a better boxer than Wilder.
Here's the deal: if you look at it very simply. If Fury keeps him at the end of the jab, Usyk has to come in to make the fight. He has to get inside to make that fight. And it's not going to be as easy as it was with AJ because Fury will time him. Fury, you know, he's a much slicker boxer than AJ is. And he has, I think, more power than AJ.
What I'm saying is if the scorecards are close at the end of the fight, I don't want to hear anybody excuses. I don't want to hear anybody saying, I didn't tell you, I told you so. Because this fight will be closer than you may think. I know everyone talks about Fury being 6'9". Mike Tyson knocked out guys that are nearly 7 feet. You know,
no. I think 6'6" was the biggest he fought.
6'6".
And the guy that Mike Tyson knocked out at 6'6" wasn't Tyson Fury.
No, but when have you ever seen two guys freaks like this? We haven't seen guys at this level in 20 years.
No, and
you know,
I think as long as Usyk is standing, he's going to make it interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to say Fury only wins it by
Fury, everything that Usyk was able to do to AJ.
Yeah,
Fury's not going to allow him to do. Like Fury could employ a feint that's going to stop Usyk from coming in.
Yeah,
that AJ didn't do. AJ didn't have any feints or anything when he went to go.
Right, talent-wise, the gap is not as big as you think it is. The gap is not as wide as everyone thinks it is.
No, I don't think the gap in boxing skills is wide. That's what I'm saying. I think that Usyk's boxing ability might be a little bit better than Fury, but it's not that much better where the size of the two is not going to play a major part. Everybody knows
Usyk shouldn't be able to do what he's doing, but he's doing it. You know, I'm going to give him his credit. He deserves that world title he's got. He beat Joshua thoroughly in those two fights. He's proved he's one of the elite fighters of this division. Apart from Fury and probably Wilder, I don't think there's many people that can touch Usyk in this division. You know,
probably not.
Now.
I don't think like the winner of. I mean, it would be interesting to see Usyk fight these different people. Like I would like to see Usyk fight Andy Ruiz. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Although I think Ruiz is probably no competition
Oh yeah, not
boxing
really.
wise. He does have fast
But
hands. So,
I
you know,
also
like
wanted
he's
to bring up the position for Usyk. Obviously, if Fury doesn't take the fight, then the belts will just be some of the belts will be given up and they'll be splitting off because Hergovic is the IBF mandatory, obviously.
Well, I heard yesterday. I was watching an interview with Usyk, and he was saying he has to. He needs 2 months to recover from injuries to his hand.
Wow.
And then, so they're looking. I think they're looking at February for a date. So they're still working things
He's
out.
going to vacate one of those belts before then. The IBF for one of those belts is going to go because
nah.
Joseph Parker,
Herkovich ain't going to be ready to fight.
no.
Hergovic
But
just took a
also
beating.
the WBO are having an interim title fight between Parker and Joyce for the WBO interim.
But remember, the WBA is next.
Yeah.
The WBA is supposed to be next.
And whoever he's fighting, yeah. Dubar's not ready for that fight. I think Dubar should get a few easy defenses in first before he steps in my opinion.
I think Dubois, the
Fight
Huey Fury Michael Hunter fight is supposed to be mandated to fight Daniel Dubois.
That's correct, yeah. And
it was
also,
Hellenius was trying to petition to become the WBA Supers mandatory because he had won some gold belt against Kalnaki before they did away with that. So he was petitioning.
Really, he's positioned the winner of that fight
to be the mandatory. So if Wilder beats Hellenius, will he take his spot
for the WBC as well? This is a WBC eliminator as well, their fight.
Right. This one, Suleiman said that the winner Wilder Hellenius is supposed to fight the winner Ruiz Ortiz.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's Ruiz and Wilder.
Yeah, he's already beaten one of the guys twice, you know.
Yeah, we don't want to see Ortiz 3.
No, we don't. And also, another point I wanted to bring was obviously Anthony Joshua has many options, right? He's got Dillian White as an option. He's got, a few of the guys.
He could fight Herkovich and become IBF mandatory.
Yeah. So what will happen is, I believe that Usyk will vacate that IBF belt. There's no money in fighting Hergovich. There's no money. So Joshua will get a backdoor to a world title again. And we know Hergovich is not on Joshua's level. Not yet anyway.
No, not the way he looked against Jang. I mean, which was also on the Usyk fight card, and I think that Zhang he did enough that some of the judges could have said that he won that fight.
I mean, even Joshua.
It was close.
Yeah. That's what I said. Like I'm not gonna call it a robbery, but certain angles you could say Zhang might have pulled it off.
I think it was in the last rounds he pulled it off because he was more active. What did you want to say? Go ahead, Nathan.
Joshua.
Go ahead.
Could end up fighting Charles Martin again, but I can see Eddie Hearn wriggling him fighting Hergovich and getting in for the title. I reckon by December the IBF belt will be vacated, and I believe Hergovich and Joshua will fight for that belt. That's what he's eyeing up. I can see it happening.
But I don't think that the IBF will be vacated until Tyson and Usyk fight. I think it's going to be all the belts on the line.
They could make it for the IBF interim belt. Yeah.
I think if the title organizations are paid off enough, we'll have a undisputed champion after Usyk and
then the belts will be split afterwards.
Then probably both guys will retire, or at least Usyk will retire. If whoever wins, it doesn't really matter. I expect Fury to win, and if he does so, he'll probably retire and let go of the belts because we want that. That's what the fans want, and they're willing to take
even if it's not for the belts. I don't care because we know who the best two are.
Sure,
there's no. But Joshua,
now wait, I want to entertain this scenario. Now we know Usyk is the better boxer than Wilder. We know that. Yeah. But Wilder, if he hits somebody, there's always the chance that they're stunned. Right. So if Usyk loses to Fury in the undisputed, I want to see Wilder versus Usyk.
There are a lot of possibilities once this is decided, right? Because they could, whoever retires breaks up the belts, okay? Or the organizations can do it, break up the belts. If one of them
Right.
says, no, I'm not defending, they'll start to break it apart because that's where the money would be in staging these fights, right? Because everybody's waiting to see this to happen because they were waiting for AJ and Fury to happen. That was millions and millions of dollars. But when he lost, he blew it, right? Which was Eddie's big mistake. He thought he took the easier route, and he didn't, and so lost anyway. So either way, it was a risk. But changing the subject, we do have an interesting heavyweight match on tomorrow between Ortiz and
Ruiz.
Ruiz. And so, what is your opinion on who's going to win that? Nathan, what do you think first?
What of Ortiz?
You got Ortiz on that? Ortiz
I'm picking Ruiz to win. I'm picking Ruiz to win. So I don't think Ortiz has anything left. The guy's got nothing. Clearly, got nothing left, does he? He barely beat Charles Martin in that fight. He was lucky to get away with a win in that fight. Very lucky.
Charles Martin was punching heavy that fight. He was.
Oh, he nearly had him out of it. He had him on Queer Street.
I mean, Charles Martin, he ain't the greatest heavyweight champion ever, but he's a decent opposition. Didn't he fight Kalnaki and that was a good fight? Was it Kalnaki?
Yeah, but he really won the fight. He really won that fight, in my opinion.
But his current trainers turned him more into a heavy puncher. And
he's better.
But he couldn't deal with the angles that Ortiz was throwing at him.
Look, he's a former world champion, but I know it was by accident, but he won the world title. That's in the history books. I'm not going to slate him, former world champion.
You can't take that away from the man.
You can't, no.
No, you can't. But so what's your opinion? Who do you think is going to take this, Ruiz or Ortiz, Spencer?
I want to say Ruiz by decision. I want to add that Ortiz might be the best technical guy that Ruiz fought so far. So this is going to be a different type of fight for Ruiz.
Yeah.
I want to say Ortiz is a better technician, in my opinion, than Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. So you're picking Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, by decision.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go to decision.
There's
only two ways. Yes, there are only two ways I see this playing out. Andy Ruiz is the smaller guy. Okay. Now we know what Ortiz is going to do. He always does this in every fight. He comes out and he'll either walk you down or run over you. So now Ruiz can punch. Andy can punch, but he's going to have to get inside like he did with AJ and exchange that way. But this guy's a little different. He's a southpaw, but I don't know. I think Ruiz is younger, but his last younger and faster if he gets inside. But in the last fight when he fought, when Ruiz fought, what's his name? He beat him, but he was down to it.
Areola, right?
Yeah, Areola was connecting a lot, but Areola isn't the same power puncher as Ortiz is.
No.
So Wilder is picking Ortiz to win, and he's been in there with him. So if Andy doesn't get caught in the first 4 or 5 rounds, then I think he's going to win later on in the fight. But it's hard to tell which Andy is coming in heavier, which is better for him. I think when he was with Reynoso, they tried to change him too much, and he wound up, We know
Ortiz doesn't have any punch resistance left. His chin is not what it was. If Ruiz hits him in the chin, it's over. I believe his biggest weakness is his chin. I don't think Ortiz is the same fight yet.
His legs are going, but he got hit. When he went down, he got hit here. No. When he got hit
against Martin,
he got hit up here.
Yeah,
that's where he got hit. And if you get hit up here above the ear, your equilibrium, no matter who you are, is going to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And that's
also
what
believe
happened.
that if this fight had been 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, I would pick Ortiz all day to win this fight. But
Yeah, all
it's not.
day.
It's 5 years down the line, and hindsight is a wonderful thing.
You know, I
But
think
it is
it's
what it
really, we know who Ortiz is. We don't know which Ruiz is going to show up for this fight.
Yeah.
You know, We
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
Ruiz can be not always the same guy. Like he looked good against JP. He looked good against Parker. He definitely looked good against AJ.
Against AJ when he knocked him out.
Right, but he didn't look good. He didn't do the work in the rematch.
He looked terrible.
He didn't adjust. Yeah. He didn't
But
adjust.
he, like you said earlier, though, his body, he got on weight. He got a little bit of weight, but it's holding right. It's not sloppy weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also outweighing Ortiz.
Oh God.
Which
Yeah,
is
he's
good.
outweighing him. So that means he's working on his punching power.
Yeah.
And he'll have more punching power. So we'll see. I think he's going to get to Ortiz later than sooner.
You know what?
It's
Ortiz
not going to be
is a drug
easy.
cheat.
I don't think it's going to be easy for him.
Ortiz is a drug cheat, and he's probably about 54 years old. We know he's not 40, 41, 42.
So you're going with both of you are going with Andy Ruiz, and
yeah.
I'm leaning that way as long as he doesn't get caught early.
Ortiz walked down to the ring in his with a walking stick, and will Ruiz be having a Mars bar coming down to the ring?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. What do you want to
Ruiz wins. We know he's gonna fight Wilder if Wilder beats Helenius, right?
That's a whole other.
That's the setup.
Wilder would beat Ruiz,
right? But if
Ruiz does,
Ortiz wins, are we going to see Wilder and Ortiz again?
I hope.
Or do we try to? Or is Eddie Hearn serious about AJ versus Wilder?
No, of course he's not. Of course he's not.
That's too dangerous. That's too. You know, I think what everybody's waiting to see is how Wilder does after his last fight with Fury. You know, because he did take a lot of punishment in that fight.
Yeah, but I expect him to take Helenius out in about 6 or 7 rounds. You know, whack him with some big shots. But I also believe Helenius will hit him with some good jabs as well.
Well, they're former sparring partners, so they know each other. So we'll see.
So this could be a cracking fight. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
Any fight that Wilder's in is a cracking fight.
Yes.
There was another heavyweight fight card on the card, wasn't there? Wasn't Charles Martin on the card today? Yeah.
Today or on that?
Yes, he's on the card today for that fight, for the Ruiz fight.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Well, it's today where you are. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Charles Martin, boxer.
Yeah, Devin Vargas. He's fighting Devin Vargas tonight.
Oh, okay.
This is a heavyweight card, right? Who else is on it?
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me go to boxing schedule here.
Abner Morris on this card too, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's Miguel Flores, yeah.
And Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, is he? What weight is he?
We have Cruz. Yeah, Pitbull Cruz will take on Eduardo Ramirez. Oh,
WBC silver.
That's lightweight. That's lightweight and super featherweight, I think.
Abner Morris with Miguel.
So Charles Martin tonight. Charles Martin's fight is 10 rounds. I believe he'll win on points.
I don't see it on here though. They don't have it. You sure?
Yeah, it's definitely on there. I got it in front of me.
That's Fox pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not be on the pay-per-view section of it.
He might be on the prior. It doesn't say anything here on this. But if you got it, you got it, you know. I believe you. You know, did you happen to see, well, we're not going to talk.
Share the screen and then we can find out some information.
Don't worry about it. But anyway,
let's see what
Charles Martin fights. next fight. Here it is. So he does have a fight. It's Devin Vargas, yeah, at the Compton Arena in Los Angeles. So that is it's tomorrow, or in your case, today. So he's fighting a guy who's 22-7-0, Devin Vargas, and he got knocked out in his last fight by Zhang. So, and then he's been knocked out 4 other times by Brazil, Bregman, and Warzink.
Yeah.
So they just trying to get him back in the ring.
Yeah, he was upset when he lost to Ortiz. He didn't want the fight to be stopped, but it had to be stopped. He didn't know where he was when he was in the ring. It was a decent stoppage. I mean, if I was the ref, I would have did the same thing for Mark to save him from annihilation at that point, because he was just not knowing where he was. But anyway, yeah, he's fighting tomorrow, so it's probably on the free undercard or on PBC.
FS1 or something.
Yeah. Is he a PBC fighter?
Who, Martin?
Yeah.
Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he a PBC fighter.
I don't see anything on the screen. I don't see anything on the screen. But anyway,
maybe it's only I can see. If it's on YouTube.
I don't know, but so finally, Daniel Dubois got paid, huh? So finally.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, that's good. He always Don always knows how to do everything, get around everything legally. So, hey, did you guys see the Comey Pedraza fight?
Yeah.
What did you think about that one, Spencer?
I could see a draw. I mean, it was a fair verdict.
Yeah,
I don't think that these guys are going to beat anybody in 140. Not any of the top guys.
No, I don't think so either. But it was an entertaining bout. It was close. I thought Comey had the edge, but it could have, draws okay too. But what did you think about both of you guys? Did you see Jared Anderson fight?
Yeah, he got hit a lot early.
But
Go ahead, Nathan. Go ahead.
I watched it, but it wasn't much to see, really. I mean, it was only a couple of rounds or one round. I watched it and I thought, he looks good. He looks good, though.
What did you think, Spencer?
He got hit early a few times. That was a little bit too much for my liking if I was him and, considering the competition. But, he did do away with him easily after that. So
he needs more seasoning, but I think he's going to be one of the top guys in the next 2 years. If they bring him along right, if they match him right, and he learns. I think at this point, in a couple of more fights, he could take on F.A. I think he could beat F.A. Ajaba.
He might be able to beat him now.
It's risky. F.A. didn't look good at all. He was slow. He's still punching hard, but he just looks slow, and he doesn't have the pedigree, the boxing pedigree, in my opinion. Did you see that fight too, Nathan? Did you see F.A. Ajaba, Nathan?
Which one?
Ajaba versus Damos, where he took him out.
Yeah, I did. But again, that wasn't much of a fight, was it? It was over in one round. He did the same thing he normally does. He got his weak matched opponent out of there. That's all he had to do, wasn't it? I don't know what to think of him anymore.
Yeah.
Yo, did you see the other guy, though?
Torres. Yeah, the Olympian, the silver medal.
Yo, that...
That was scary. That was scary. You could see the guy going down like.
Yeah, that was.
Do you know who he reminded me of? If you watch his punches carefully and his movement, he reminds me of a former WBA heavyweight champion from 2009. His movement was pretty similar. He reminds me of a David Haye, kind of sniper style kind of fight. Could you not see that a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw some of that, but what I saw was more like a Tyson attack, the way he moved.
Oh yeah, he was evil,
Yeah.
evil.
Now, the only guy I think he's going to have trouble with coming up is the guy who beat him twice in the Olympics, in the amateurs. He knocked them out once, and then he decisioned them. The big, tall, 6'9", 6'10" guy from Russia. He's a southpaw, and he's a real strong puncher. He was the gold medal Olympist. I can't
Oh,
remember his name.
how old is Torres anyway?
He's young. He's young.
Yeah, early 20s.
But he definitely can punch, and that's the thing. But the height, Richard Torres, right?
Yeah.
He he was born in 99, so
Yeah, he's young. He's big.
he's 20. He's what, 23?
22, 23, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be
So-
23 this year, yeah.
Yeah, so who defeated him in the amateurs, right? That's the guy we got to watch for too.
Jalolov, yeah.
Javelin, yeah, whatever it is, the javelin.
Jalolov is a 33-year-old man who will be
Right,
retired
we
by
seen
time
him the other
Torres-
day.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys
Whoever.
from the Eastern Bloc who's had tons of amateur fights too. He could probably, fight for a title in another 6 fights.
Yeah, we seen him the other
I
not
don't
too
think
long ago.
Jalolov is good enough to win a world title. He's quality. He's quality. I just don't think he's got the talent.
Yeah,
He could be.
Bakladir Jalovov.
Who did he just fight? He just fought on some card.
Yeah, he did, and he knocked the guy out.
Yeah, quickly too.
A guy called Jack Malawi. Then he beat Kamil Solokowski. Oh, he's only 28, so he's got plenty of time, Jalolov, isn't he? Yeah,
He's got
plenty of
11
years.
pro fights, right?
And a gold medal.
Yeah. And he's won everything almost by KO so far.
Yeah, I do think maybe in a few years, 2 or 3 years, he could be fighting for a world title. He may be one of the title holders.
He's only
But the
28,
landscape-
though. He's not 33, he's 28.
So the landscape of boxing is now slowly changing again. As
And
we've seen with Usyk.
But
Usyk,
here's...
in about 3...
Go ahead. No, you carry on. Go ahead.
In about 3 or 4 years' time, you will see the Torreses, the Jalolovs, all of these guys come through. The other guys like the Dubars will come up a bit more. Dubar's already there, but those guys will all be competing for titles against each other.
And do you know where he lives now? Brooklyn.
No. What?
He lives in Brooklyn, Spencer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a
He hails from Uzbekistan, I believe, one of those weird countries next to Russia.
Oh, don't say Uzbekistan is weird. You'll upset people from that country.
Oh, I don't care. They can't speak English anyway. They all live like nomads over there. They're just as uncivilized as the Mongolian people. They're all a bit backwards, those, aren't they? Come on, let's be honest.
They don't understand what I'm saying.
Communist Soviet countries. They're all fucked.
He's 6'7" and has an 81-inch reach.
Yeah,
and is a southpaw.
He's going to be a problem.
He's going to be a problem from all these guys. So, by the time he's 30, 31, he'll be fighting for a title, if not sooner.
Yeah, he's in the next crew.
Yeah, he could probably beat Kaba right now and some of these other guys.
Daniel Dubois has a belt right now. I reckon this is the only world title he'll ever hold in his career because some of the people coming up are going to be a lot better than him. I think Dubois is very lucky to even be a world champion right now, and that's pushing it. He's lucky Trevor Bryan wasn't even in any shape. Do you believe, the guys believe this, that Dubois is very fortunate to hold a piece of the world title?
I mean, he earned it beating the guy that was the champ.
Yeah, he beat the guy. Yeah, so
he beat Bogdan Dinu for the interim. That got him the title shot. Then he beat Trevor Bryan. Is a good fighter, but he was never a world championship level.
We'll see with Dubois' next set of fights how he does and who he's going to face. If it's true,
Lucas Brand as well.
Well, he could fight him in the meantime, but if it's true that the Huey Fury and Michael Hunter winner fights Dubois, then if he comes out on top of that winner, then we could say he's matured and evolved a lot better than
Yeah.
than from the Joyce fight, basically.
Right. Well,
Also, something else to tell you. Carry on.
yeah. No.
I wanted to bring
Tell
up
me.
Jarrell Miller, but carry on. Say your point.
No. Let's hear it. Come
Jarrell
on.
Miller is fighting Ebenezer Tete in early October, and then he's also signed a deal to, according to Boxing Squared and Mr. Boxing Today, he signed a deal to fight Jarrell Miller, Lucas Brownhouse, which I think that's an interesting fight.
Yeah,
You've got a man who's been off for 4 years, who's not in that good shape. Then you've got a guy who's got nothing left but his punch. That could be a great fight.
It could be. It could be. But just
But
change the subject, and I know that Spencer is very much interested in this, is that Clarissa's fighting next week.
Yep.
That's going to be a great fight. What do you think about that one, Nathan? Who do you think is going to win that one?
I think Savannah Marshall's going to lose to Clarissa Shields
All right.
by a late stoppage.
You think Clarissa's going to stop Savannah?
Or it'll go to points. It'll go to split decision or something. But I think Savannah's not quite as good as Clarissa. It's going to be close.
I don't think she has the speed, but she has the size and she can punch.
But if it goes to decision, I worry that Savannah will get the decision.
Why?
Even if she loses, you know what I mean?
Because it's in England, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The same, she could get a Daniel Jacob situation.
Maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Clarissa should be able to beat Savannah Marshall. I think it'll be on points though. I don't think she's going to knock her out.
I don't think so either. I think that would be silly to think that. To be
Savannah's
honest with
too
you.
big. Savannah is basically a girl who's super middleweight, who's walking around like she could be a heavyweight champion in women's boxing. Seriously, she's that big. There's a light heavyweight, then after light heavyweight, there's heavyweight in women's boxing. She could fight for a world heavyweight title now.
Yeah, and Clarissa been kind of like shrinking herself down to make these other fights against, middleweights, and because she started out as a super middleweight, Clarissa.
Yeah. Well, this will be good for her then if she doesn't have to cut weight. That's good. What is the agreed upon weight in this fight?
I think this is for the middleweight. It's middleweight.
Yeah.
It's middleweight, yeah, which is crazy, isn't it? I don't know how Savannah Marshall makes the weight for middleweight, to be honest.
That's going to be interesting, but I think it'll be a good one, though. I think this will be good. And it looks like Clarissa's really pumped for it. So that motivation will be good because I see her really training for this. I think her going into mixed martial arts, she made some money, but that's not where she should be.
I think it's only because that she wants money. That's what it is.
Hey, well, didn't Tyson do that? I mean, he went into pro wrestling. Oh. Well, what else you guys want to talk about? I think we exhausted everything.
What's it called? Wasn't there some fights in London today?
There's a few more.
Yeah.
Liam
Smith won by fourth round knockout, but the guy basically quit because he twisted his ankle or something. Yeah. That was it.
This is a guy who beat Sam Eggington in 1 round, in 30 seconds, the first round. So he can bang, but I saw the knockout. He knocked him down twice, then he just gave up. Like Tom said, he just gave up.
Well, he slipped and twisted his leg, and you could see he was having trouble with it. Then he took a knee, and as Smith was coming forward, Smith hit him a couple of times before he hit the ground. And then he got back up again, and then he took a knee again, and finally the ref said, that's enough. Because the guy was actually having trouble. I could tell he was having trouble standing. It wasn't like he didn't want it out of the fight. He was having trouble with his foot.
I've got another fight to talk about. Let me just find it quickly. And this is a really, really good one. But I can see it's all been set up by Eddie Hearn. Let me just quickly type the name and get it on.
Lyndon Arthur fought today too, right?
Did he win?
Let
me see if he won. I didn't see anything on Fight News. He needs to match with Yard again. He needs a rematch with Yard.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Oh, and we haven't talked about Bivol and Ramirez coming in.
No.
making the fight. I think Ramirez is going to win.
Oh yeah, you could-
I think Ramirez is tougher than a lot of people give him credit for. I watched this fight with Arthur
you should
Abram,
do. You should-
and man, when he won the super middleweight title, he was just on fire all 12
He's
rounds.
too big. He's too
combinations.
big. He's not even a light heavy.
He
Yeah,
could
he
be
could be-
fighting at cruiserweight.
Yeah, he could be. He's a big guy. So let's see. Fight
Yeah,
news.
he's taller than Bivol. So, and he got a high volume too.
About 6'5".
So he throws a lot of punches.
Yeah, he's good. So I think he's going to give him trouble. So we're talking about Arthur Arthur Linden, right?
Yeah.
Next fight. Let's see. When is his next fight? This is old here.
Have a look.
Here, I'm on Boxing Record.
Oh,
It'll
he's
tell me
fighting
right
some
away.
guy. He's
He's
fighting
on the
some guy
17th.
called Walter Gabriel Square.
Right, on the
This
17th.
guy
So
he's
that's not
fighting
tonight.
is a useful journeyman.
Wait, I thought he was fighting tonight. No.
The guy
okay.
he's fighting is an Argentinian journeyman. No, who's lost to
Wait,
Ingram. So
what-
this is an easy fight
Oh,
for him.
Liam Smith's card was tonight.
Right. Liam Smith won that. We talked about that. But this is not until
Yeah.
the 17th. So that's not, there's no
Okay,
result yet.
so I thought there was another fight today.
Oh, well, that was Liam Smith.
There's another
No,
fight
I
that's
thought
going to
I
happen on
thought
the
there was
24th.
something else. My mistake.
Well, there's Estrada.
I can't leave the screen because if I
There's
leave the
something else
screen, then I'm gonna
that's
be cut
happening on-
off.
There was Estrada.
Right, there's
Uh,
another guy. Fight. Yeah. Lee Wood is fighting Mercutio Lara, the guy that beat, what's his name? The British guy. I can't remember his name.
That's on the 24th.
Who's the IBF?
Right.
I can't remember who he
That-
beat. I've forgotten his name. He beat Josh Warrington. The guy that beat Josh Warrington will be fighting Lee Wood. This is for the WBA title. I
That'll
believe
be
this
a-
fight is set up so whoever wins is actually going to be fighting Josh Warrington. But I reckon Lara will beat Lee Wood
I know what it was.
based on his last.
Well, that's
It was on Fight TV. My bad. They had another fight on today. They had the Liam Smith fight on, and they also had Albert Bell, some junior welterweight or
Mhm.
junior lightweight
right.
fight. It was for some NABO title.
Mm.
And that was on Fight TV. That's what showed up on my thing. That's
Right.
what I was thinking about, not Lyndon Arthur. I don't know why I was thinking Lyndon Arthur was today. It
It's
was
okay.
Albert Bell that was today.
Getting back to Lara, he TKO'd him in the first fight, and then they had didn't they have a draw
Right, in the
technical
second
decision? He got cut
yeah,
in
they
the
did.
second.
But from a headbutt. But I believe that Lara's 24. I think he's going to do a number on Lee Wood. Seriously. Lee Wood's proven he's tough by beating Colin and Kanzu. But I just think Lara's too young, too hungry. You know, he's going to do a number on him. And then he'll go on and he'll fight Josh Warrington.
You
He'll beat
never
Josh
know
Warrington.
with Lee Wood. You never know because he's a strong puncher. If he connects, he hurts.
But he's very limited in the skill defense. I mean, Conlon was outboxing him. for
So
all
you're
that fight.
picking Lara then.
Yeah, because he's just too dangerous. He's unpredictable. He's dangerous. Lee Wood's tough, but he's not tough enough. And if
I'm gonna
would
give
you
it to
put- if
Lee
you were
Wood.
Josh Warrington, would you want Lara again? I wouldn't want to go there with a guy and knock me out in 9 rounds.
No, I wouldn't either.
But
But
it'd be a bad move.
it'll be a cracker, that's for sure. That's for sure.
That'd be good.
That'll be good. Yeah, for sure. Well, what else? I think we covered a lot. Anything else?
Let's have a look.
No, that's pretty
Did
much
any-
it.
Anybody watch? I wanted to talk about the YouTube boxing. Did anybody watch the YouTube fights?
Oh, that was terrible. That was just pitiful.
You
But
talking
let's
about the
just talk
KSI
about-
fight?
Yes, I just want to talk about it because it's so funny and hilarious. The first guy he fought hadn't boxed in his life, right? Had 2 weeks'
Oh.
notice to replace an opponent. and he beat the guy. It was embarrassing.
I like the way he
Then in
twirled
the next
around
fight-
to get away from the punches.
Then he beat a guy who was originally a super welterweight who pumped up to cruiserweight, and this guy was ranked 1300 he was the 1400 best super welterweight, right?
Right.
And he'd lost 3 fights and won 1, and this guy was down 8 times in 3 rounds. It was embarrassing. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, what are you going to do? You know, people want to see that.
And people are paying for this shit.
Right.
I just can't understand. Well, these dumb YouTubers who know nothing about boxing think that's boxing. And then he bragged. Then it was, guess, to make even worse, it was for the IBC Cruiserweight World Title.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
crazy.
God. Hey, you know, we didn't talk about Parker. Joe Joyce wanting a rematch clause in his fight.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
Rematch clauses for no. Well, I guess it's a title fight because it's for the interim title.
Yeah.
But come on
I
now.
can't understand why Joe's is even risking it. He's the mandatory. Why bother? It don't make any sense. Just pick somebody else, you know, till you get your title shot.
I don't,
Well-
you know, if you're confident that you need a rematch clause, you know.
No.
I'm sure it would have worked
Listen.
from Lomachenko, but
I think like the sanctioning bodies should be able to have some say. Like y'all can't do a rematch. The winner of this fight has to fight somebody else, or they have to fight the winner of the Usyk Fury fight, or fight whoever's next in line waiting for their title shot.
Would you pick Joyce? I would pick Joyce to win this, you know, even though I think Parker's a much better boxer. I can just see Parker getting grinded down, you know, because Joyce is a lot better than Jarrett Chisora, isn't it?
Joyce by stoppage or Parker by decision.
yeah, that you
It's
know.
very close.
Well, just for future subjects, we got some good stuff coming up. We don't have to discuss them now, but we have Cordina and Rakimov, which will be very good. That's a good fight. And you have Zepeda and Prograis, which will be a good fight.
Yeah.
And you have Floyd. Better be careful with this Japanese guy, Miriko Asakura, because he actually has good hands and power. He's not good at his defense, but he's got a long reach.
An exhibition fight.
Yeah, he's a mixed martial artist, but this guy is young and strong and fast and powerful.
So, Mayweather doesn't want to get embarrassed, does he? You know, like he did against Jake Paul.
This also the 140 IBF title is about to be fought for with Ponce and Matthias.
That'll be good.
Today?
That'll be a good one. Yeah.
Do you mean as in Matthias, the guy that was the former world WBA regular champion?
I don't know.
Did and lost to Barrios?
I don't remember. What's the guy's name again?
Matthias. I don't know how to pronounce it.
You said Barrios?
Lucas Matiz.
I think who did Barrios beat for that 140-pound title that he lost to Tank?
Oh yeah, Davis and Barrios. Yeah.
Let me look at it quickly.
Yeah, Barrios. So its name is let's see. He's fighting Keith Thurman?
No, Barrios fought Thurman already.
And lost, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Barrios boxer.
For the title, it looks like he beat a guy called Akhmedov.
Akhmedov.
Yeah,
Mario Barrios. Yeah. So he lost to Thurman and Gavante Davis. He was TKO'd by Davis, but he won it from Akhmedov.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So who did the guy Matthias fight? Because he lost one time. I think he lost one time. Let me see if I can see. Y'all still there?
Yeah. So we want Matthias, right?
It's not Lucas Matthias. I thought it was Lucas Matiz, or Matthias as you guys call it.
Subriel Matthias?
That's it, Subriel.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the question? I have his record.
He's supposed to be fighting Ponce for the title. I think he a PBC fighter too, so we might get to see him fight Puello, because Puello is a PBC
He
fighter.
doesn't have a fight signed right now. Subriel, if it's the same guy.
Yeah, they I know, but the IBF ordered him versus Ponce
Oh, okay.
the-
So
for the
that's
vacate, because Josh Taylor just vacated the IBF also.
Yeah.
right. I remember now. That's right. Yeah.
So he's supposed to fight Ponce. Right. He got 18 KOs in his 18 victories, Matthias.
Okay. Yeah, and one loss. Okay, so that it's ordered. There it is. Right. And I think you put that up on the site, if I recall,
Yeah.
a while back. So yeah, that's ordered. So I guess did they go to a purse bid or what?
Yeah, they're gonna go to a purse bid. What's it called? Those
then-
dudes that work with Triller wanted to pay the Regis purse bid.
Oh, do you guys want another laugh? Eddie
Yeah.
Hearn lost the purse bid.
Right, he did.
What was it? It was between what's his name?
He lost to Matchroom, didn't he?
Yeah,
No,
I can't-
not
yeah,
they.
he is-
Eddie Hearn
No, I
is
mean
match.
no, but he lost to a Sky or somebody else.
I've forgotten his bloody name again. The guy his fighter was.
It was the light heavyweight championship, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or
it
light
was.
heavyweights. It was for his fighter. What his own fighter? He
I can't
lost.
remember his name though.
Oh, the guy you thought that should fight. What's his name? Not Lyndon.
Craig
the
Richards.
guy-
I can't remember his name. Joshua Boazzi.
Boazzi, yeah, Boazzi. You lost the purse bid for Boazzi.
Yeah, so that he's got a fight against. He's the IBF mandatory to fight. Oh, that was it. It was John Pascal. It was to fight John Pascal
Right, John Pascal. Right, they lost that purse bid.
to the Canadian people.
Right.
Canadian.
Yeah. Well, they want to have it in Canada.
I don't believe he's ready for Pascal yet. You know, he should win it, but I don't think he's ready.
I don't think he's ready either. Pascal brings a whole slew
help.
of problems.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't juice out.
But then another fight I don't agree with. How can Anthony Yard be the IBF mandatory for Batavia? If I find that, or WBO mandatory, but I know he beat Arthur Linden in the final eliminator, but it's shocking. This guy keeps getting chance after chance.
I don't know.
I don't rate Anthony Yard at all. I think he's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. Well, he's up there. Any fight he makes, he's got to be careful he doesn't get beat. All of those guys are too worried
He's
about
so
getting
vulnerable. Anthony Yard is such a vulnerable fighter. You have to be careful how you match a guy like him. He's got no skill. He's got power. That's all he's got is his power. He's got nothing else. He was lucky to even win that Linden rematch.
You know what?
He's that good.
I just realized something. With a lot of these guys, the mental strain of having to pick who they're going to fight next and go along with the promoters. The older fighters didn't have that. They just went up the ladder and fought who they had to fight in order to get to the top. It wasn't until the organization started splitting off. I mean, if I had to think about, no, I better take this match instead of this match and not this organization, that just puts a whole lot of mental pressure on
You've got fighters who have their way to the top cherry picked.
That's what I'm
Joshua is a
saying.
perfect example of it. No, Anthony Joshua is a perfect example of that. But he got better.
I'm not gonna.
And Anthony
Joshua
what good competition.
When he fought Dylan White, was that for the Commonwealth title?
No, it was for the British and Commonwealth. Yeah.
So it was for the British and the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
He never fought for the European title, right?
No, he never did that.
He should have probably fought for that before.
But he bypassed that and thought he'd fight Charles accidental champion. The man who
he fought Charles Martin, and Charles Martin kind of laid down for that 5 or 6 million that Eddie Hearn gave him.
He sold his belt in London, didn't he?
Yeah, wore them tight ass leather shorts that he couldn't move.
Comes down with that fucking crown on the ring. I'm like, what the fuck is?
Yeah, he couldn't even move his legs around. No wonder he got knocked out.
Hey guys,
he won Glasgow, broke his leg, and won the title. I watched in the fight, and I'm like, how the fuck is this bum who's beating absolutely fucking nobody?
Watch your language.
Be a world champion. Oh, I don't care. I'm 40 years old now. I don't care. I'm old.
Hey, listen, guys, I got to go to a gig soon, so I can't stay on much longer. Why don't we wrap this up? Well, you guys can continue. But thank you. It was fun, and I had a lot of fun. We talked a lot about.
We'll be back either next Friday or Saturday or whatever.
All right.
Are you? All right.
Probably Friday. We could go back to the regular day.
Let me check Friday.